Herman Manyora. Thank you for joining us.
Good.
Why is the Kibra race being viewed by some as a mini general election?
I think the entry of William Ruto into Kibra, really how it concerns him was quite a puzzle to many people. You would have understood if it was in the Rift Valley or something, but now in Nairobi, in the heartland of Nairobi, and in Raila's place. And
surely he's a national leader.
National leader, but we know leaders as we segment them.
Why should one do that? He's the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya.
Yeah, Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya from some corner of this country. We expect him to be more vibrant in those corners of his. And also remember the NASA parties. All of them have filled in candidates except for Wiper. That seems to worry some people here.
Does it have anything to do with the cosmopolitan nature of Kibra, that you can find everyone in Kibra?
Of course, Kibra belongs to all of us. You can't view it like Bondo, for example, or maybe Turbo constituents or something like that. So it can attract many people, but normally not in this manner. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Is it incorrect when you hear pundits, possibly even journalists, say that this is being used as a test case for what could happen if BBI was to take us to a vote? Definitely.
A lot of what we are seeing in Kibra now would be really what might happen if BBI slides into a vote.
Okay.
A referendum vote, yeah.
And what does it mean for alliances? Do you believe that the alliances we're beginning to see form around the Kibra by-election are the kind of agreements that would carry, should BBI use the popular initiative route?
You know, always in politics and when we have an election, there are always dynamics, and new friends, new enemies, and we are already seeing that happening. You can see by bringing on board Kivuta Kibwana, Ngilu, Charity Ngilu, Governor Kibwana, Raila seems to be sending a message. He seems to be telling Kalonzo something. Remember also Kalonzo's party had decided earlier on they are backing Ford Kenya's candidate, Butichi. So I think more than just backing that Ford Kenya candidate, I think there's something else going on. Remember, if this thing were to go through and you change the constitution, you will have to think of where to place Kalonzo Musyoka. There was a Kalonzo problem in 2017. He was trying to talk about the Code MOU of 2013. And it's going to be much more problematic this time for Raila to ask Kalonzo to be his deputy or something, that kind of configuration. So you can already see maybe he's already handling that kind of problem.
Kibra does prove that, NASA parties are unhappy together. I know Musalia Mudavadi denied it on this program and said, until you have two partners formally pulling out, that the coalition was very much intact. But we have seen in the days thereafter, Edwin Sifuna, saying that, they've always known that these other parties were leeches. He used some very strong terminology.
Yeah, he's a young man, you can understand.
He's allowed to speak that way. But he holds a key position in the party. And I suppose what I'm wondering is it your view that post the handshake between the president and Raila Odinga, that NASA was never going to make it into another major election as one coalition? You can never know, because when you talk of NASA, CORD, you are talking of Raila, and Raila is never short of tricks. When you think he's down, he's strong. Maybe he could have found a way of keeping NASA, or a new outfit, as in walking out of, for example, CORD and coming up with NASA, whoever came up with. So you can't quite say that it was going to be difficult. Maybe NASA would have collapsed, but Raila would never have run out of options. I think so. Okay. And when you think of the political parties that somehow surprisingly seemed to really push for their candidates to be seen in Kibra, do any of those candidates stand out to you as really challenging ODM ground? Initially it was ODM, and nobody would have even thought anybody else would stand a chance, half a chance for that matter. But then Owalo came in, and the Luya factor, it was very strong. And for a moment, I was going to put my money on Owalo. And then, just when we were trying to figure out the war between Owalo and Imran, then from nowhere, the man we had dismissed, Mariga,
He came very strongly. It is really surprising.
You think Mariga is an actual
strong candidate
in this race?
You see, even the way he presents himself, even Sindio has disappeared. Someone seems to have coached him even how to speak. And the image now is of a strong candidate. So really...
You think he could pull an upset?
Of course, absolutely. Yes.
Really?
Absolutely.
Based on what? What do you think makes him, that candidate to watch?
You see, Kibra is ODM and ODM is Kibra and is almost Luo. You know, it's bad to say that, but it's a fact. But you see, things have changed a bit. Now, there is, a by-election always produces very low numbers. If the numbers remain low, it is always the man with strategy who carries the day. It's like a nomination.
But you don't expect this one to produce low numbers, do you?
Now, this is the high octane may affect the numbers, making them a bit more than we are used to in by-elections. But if they remain the usual low numbers, it is the man with strategy and money and willing to spend the money who could carry the day. And when you talk about money and strategy, William Ruto is not very far from there. He's just around where you are talking. So
he's around money and strategy.
Yeah, and the strategy. Right. Raila used to be the man of strategy in this country. Now he's William Samoei Ruto.
Wow.
Yeah.
And what do you think then, if you do believe that Mariga is possibly a frontrunner in this race, that he's possible...
I didn't say he's a frontrunner. I said he has a chance.
He has a chance.
Initially, he had no chance.
Does he have a chance
we left
to
him
win?
off.
Okay, does he have a chance to win?
Yes, he has a chance to win.
So should he win, what would that mean?
I think it will be devastating to Raila Odinga. When he lost in somewhere, Wajir or wherever, and then Nambakasi, and more critically, Ugenya, he said elections are to be won and lost. So we have lost this one. It's nothing, which is true. He can't say that about Kibra. It will be bad for him. It will be devastating. And that's why you can see he has left nothing to chance now. Remember, initially I thought because of the handshake, Uhuru was not going to Kibra. He hasn't gone. Even in Jubilee itself, much like Jubilee, they haven't gone. I also knew Raila wasn't going to Kibra, so that you don't interfere with the handshake. And remember, he didn't show a lot of interest initially. But the threat posed initially by Owalo and now by Mariga has made him go there. Not just go there, but summon troops and assistance, as Ruto would put it, in those very sensitive parts of the house. Okay.
Yeah. What does it mean when we see, and you yourself have mentioned it in this interview at least twice, that the tribal factor is playing out very much in Kibra? In fact, apparently playing out more than actually the concerns of area residents in terms of, how do you carry Ken Okoth's legacy forward, development projects and the like. What does that say to us about the state of Kenyan politics and our politicians specifically?
For a long time, since independence, our demography has always been tribe. I've been looking at young people and saying, why can't they come up and create a new demography? They have not been able to do that. But there is a new one which might help shape 2022, the hustler, nation. This could be a new demography that could cut across. Yeah, it could cut across tribe. And this should worry Raila and Uhuru if they want to beat Ruto.
Okay. We've talked, because you've mentioned it, Kibra, of course, represents one of the most disenfranchised, parts of our country, despite millions of dollars having been pumped into, this small area over the years. And now we're seeing the rest of the country equally beginning to, have concerns around the state of the economy. In your opinion, does economic turbulence, will it have a major role to play going forward, going into 2022, and will it equally challenge the handshake?
And you have seen thieves who steal our billions meant for health and education and all good things. You see people come up and own them, our thief, So when it comes to even the politics, people forget all the bad things so long as a person belongs to the clan or the tribe. That's what matters. So at the national level then, a person from Luya land is likely to vote where other Luyas are voting, irrespective of the person's standing, whether that person has been responsible for their suffering or not. But like I've said before, this hustler thing could change that a bit. So people are beginning to see that there are problems, really. Kata-Coast tribe, nothing, they are suffering. They are going to bed hungry. They are not being able to cater for medical expenses. Has nothing to do with their tribe. But it's still a remote shot. It's quite a far shot. But it is beginning to take some little shape.
Okay.
Yeah.
Finally, if you had to put all your money down.
Up on the table.
Yeah. Who's your pick for Kibra?
It's difficult. I don't know. It's too close to call.
Top two?
No, it's still difficult to say. I think these three horses are...
Why are you being so shy?
I've never been shy in my life.
Apparently,
never in my life.
You are. Who's your favorite? Who's really showing you?
You know, I'm a Luya. I would back ANC candidate. I'm a Raila man. I would back Imran. I'm a nationalist. I will back the president's candidate. So they're all my people. And you see.
Smart man. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
Good.